Seeing that his son is not treated like a hero, the fourth takes Naruto to the world of Percy Jackson. With the both of them demigods and powerful ones at that, will they survive their time in this strange world? And who is the girl in the tree? Chapter 16, Games Galore? Naruto, Prince of the Underworld. Chapter 16. Well, finals are over and so are the holidays. So here is the next chapter. The war god was waiting for them in the diner parking lot, leaning on his motorcycle. Well, he said. You didn't get yourself killed. Percy glared at him. You knew it was a trap. Ares cracked a wicked smirk. Bet that crippled blacksmith was surprised when he netted a couple of stupid kids. You looked good on TV, but I gotta say, the ending was hilarious. He then gave a thumbs up to Naruto, who just smiled. Percy growled and shoved the shield in Ares' hands. You're a jerk. Annabeth and Grover caught their breath. Ares grabbed the shield and spun it in the air like pizza dough. It changed form, melting into a bulletproof vest. He slung it across his back. See that truck over there? He pointed to an 18-wheeler parked across the street from the diner. That's your ride. Take you straight to LA, with one stop in Vegas. The demigod trio took one look at the truck and was able to read it because of the fact that it was in big black and white letters that were reversed. A good combination for people with dyslexia. It said, Kindness International, Humane Zoo Transport. Warning, live wild animals. Percy gave Ares a deadpan look. You have got to be kidding me. Ares snapped his fingers. The back door of the truck unlatched. Free ride west, punk. Stop complaining. And here's a little something for doing the job. He slung a blue nylon backpack off his handlebars and tossed it to him. Inside were fresh clothes for all of them, $20 in cash, a pouch full of golden drachmas, and a bag of double-stuff Oreos. Naruto smirked. No more looking like walking advertisements, sweet. I don't want your lousy. Percy growled out before Grover got behind him and covered the boy's mouth. Thank you, Lord Ares, Grover interrupted, giving Percy his best red alert warning look. Thanks a lot. Percy gritted his teeth, feeling the oppressive aura that Ares was giving off, making him remember at the bullying he had to deal with in life. It was not comforting in the least. He still could not understand how Naruto could just shrug it off. He turned his head back to the diner and saw the waitress from before. He was nervously looking at Ares, like he was going to hurt them or something. She even dragged out the fry cook to look. She said something, not that him or the now watching Naruto could make out. Then the man took out a camera and snapped a photo of the group. Percy felt his eye twitch. He could already see the news headline, 12-year-old outlaw beats up defenseless biker, and he could tell that Naruto would just laugh at it. You owe me one more thing, Percy said as he turned back to Ares and trying to keep his voice in check. By now, Grover had let go of his friend but stayed close, just in case. You promised me information about my mother. You sure you can handle the news? He kick-started his motorcycle. She's not dead. Percy took a shell-shocked look on his face. What do you mean? I mean she was taken away from the Minotaur before she could die. She was turned into a shower of gold, right? That's metamorphosis, not death. She's being kept. Kept? Why? You need to study war, punk. Hostages. You take somebody to control somebody else. Nobody's controlling me. You never know, Percy. Naruto said with a frown. My dad could be expecting us. Question is, why? Percy gave Naruto a look and said, I am not sure, but we need to be careful either way. Naruto put on a thoughtful look and said, Hey Ares, I have question about my mom. Geez, what is with you kids and your moms? Ares cried out and smacked his face. Anyway, Aphrodite's kid is long gone, but let's think about it. What if I was your dad? Naruto chuckled. I probably would not have ended up the way I have. Well, you are probably right about that. I am going now. Good luck, you brats. That was it for Percy's patience with the god of war's aura. You're pretty smug, Lord Ares, for a guy who runs from Cupid statues. Behind Ares' sunglasses, fire glowed. We'll meet again, Percy Jackson. Next time you're in a fight, watch your back. And you, Naruto Uzumaki. I would not take on more that you can chew, but knowing you, you will. Of course, smiled Naruto. Ares revved his Harley, then roared off down Delancey Street. Annabeth said, that was not smart, Percy. I don't care. You don't want a god as your enemy. Especially not that god, warned Annabeth. You know, if you grew up like I did, You probably would not be affected like Percy, Naruto said while crossing his arms behind his back. It was extremely for me, but I suppressed it out of fear, Annabeth admitted. Hey, guys, Grover said. I hate to interrupt, but... He pointed toward the diner. At the register, the last two customers were paying their check, two men in identical black coveralls, with a white logo on their backs that matched the one on the Kindness International truck. If we're taking the Zoo Express, Grover said, we need to hurry. I'll say, Naruto said as he leisurely made his way to the transport while the other ran. However, they were shocked to find that was already on the truck. Hey, guys. What took ya? He said with a bright smile. Percy, looking back just in time to see the Naruto that they passed, returned to the shadows with a poof. He smacked his head. I should have known. He grumbled with a half-smile at his friend's antics. Annabeth, still not used to this, asked, how did you do that and what is that smell, saying the last part while holding her nose. Well, that is what we get for riding with animals. Naruto deadpanned while jutting his thumb behind him to the animals. Oh, and the reason I was already here was I switched with a shadow clone when he mentioned the truck, and before you ask, yes, my shadow clone Jutsutran FARS all memories it has to me. Well, that is useful information, Annabeth said with a calculating look. The trailer was dark inside until Percy uncapped Anaklesmos. The blade cast a faint bronze light over a very sad scene. Sitting in a row of filthy metal cages were three of the most pathetic zoo animals the group had ever beheld, a zebra, a male albino lion, and some weird antelope thing I didn't know the name for. Someone had thrown the lion a sack of turnips, which he obviously didn't want to eat. The zebra and the antelope had each gotten a styrofoam tray of hamburger meat. The zebra's mane was matted with chewing gum, like somebody had been spitting on it in their spare time. The antelope had a stupid silver birthday balloon tied to one of his horns that read over the hill. Apparently, nobody had wanted to get close enough to the lion to mess with him, but the poor thing was pacing around on soiled blankets, in a space way too small for him, panting from the stuffy heat of the trailer. He had flies buzzing around his pink eyes and his ribs showed through his white fur. This is kindness, Grover yelled. Humane zoo transport. No, said Naruto in a serious voice. These are obviously unique animals, and judging by the crappy condition we are currently in, this could possibly be a black market transport. Naruto growled, but before any of them could do anything, the truck's engine roared to life and they began move. Terrific, Naruto deadpanned. Well, we should make the best of what we got, Annabeth sadly stated. They huddled in the corner on some mildewed feed sacks, trying to ignore the smell and the heat and the flies. Grover talked to the animals in a series of goat bleats, but they just stared at him sadly. Annabeth was in favor of breaking the cages and freeing them on the spot, but Percy pointed out it wouldn't do much good until the truck stopped moving, and he was sure that lion hungry, and instead of the turnips, they were on the menu. However, Naruto was staring at the animals and his rage was growing. To him, this crap was worse than back home. Home, he wondered if everyone was okay. Did they miss him at all? He doubted he would ever see home again, but this eclipse that Chiron was talking about, how would it affect him? He was brought out of his thoughts when he saw Percy help out the three odd animals by switching the food to the right animals. He smiled, nice job, man. Thanks, Naruto, anytime, but let's help out with the other animals, shall we? Naruto replied, getting up. With a smirk. Percy smiled and nodded. Hey Annabeth, we could use your knife right about now. Huh? Why? She asked. Well, we need you to cut off the balloon on the antelope's horn. Me and Percy can hold it down while Grover calms it down. Wow, good plan. Annabeth replied with a blink and then got to work. Once the balloon and the antelope were free from each other, Annabeth tried to get the gum out of the zebra's mane, but with the truck's bounciness on the road, they decided it was better to wait. Grover, can you tell the animals to please calm down and that when we leave, so are they? Naruto asked the goat man. Sure, Naruto. Grover replied as he translated the words to the animals and then laid down on a turnip sack to rest the rest of the way. Naruto went and sat by the albino lion, clearly not afraid. What Annabeth and Percy sat down near the bag. The blonde girl then began to nibble half-heartedly on some Oreos from said bag. He was wondering the same as Percy, were they just entertainment for the gods or what? Even though Naruto was not near his friends, he could still hear them with his ninja abilities. He closed his and listened. Hey, Annabeth said, I'm sorry for freaking out back at the water park, Percy. That's okay. It's just. She shuddered. Spiders. Because of the Arachne story, Percy guessed. She got turned into a spider for challenging your mom to a weaving contest, right? Annabeth nodded. Arachne's children have been taking revenge on the children of Athena ever since. If there's a spider within a mile of me, it'll find me. I hate the creepy little things. Anyway, I owe you. We're a team, remember? Percy said. Besides, Grover did the fancy flying and Naruto was the one who caught us. Grover turned in his sleep and said, I was pretty amazing, wasn't I? Naruto smirked and decided to snicker in his sleep. Both Annabeth and Percy laughed at that, neither deciding to talk about what Naruto did after he saved them. She pulled apart an aria, handed Percy half. In the iris message, did Luke really say nothing? Naruto wanted to groan at that. The girl was in love with someone who is almost 20. Percy munched on his cookie for a bit before he answered. Luke said you and he go way back. He also said Grover wouldn't fail this time. Nobody would turn into a pine tree. Man, Grover must have been lucky to find you, Luke and Thalia. Percy said. Yeah. But that luck turned bad, you know what happened. Annabeth said quietly. Sorry. It is okay, but it is like you said. A 7-year-old half-blood wouldn't have made it very far alone. Athena guided me toward help. Thalia was 12. Luke was 14. They'd both run away from home, like me. They were happy to take me with them. They were amazing monster fighters, even without training. We traveled north from Virginia without any real plans, fending off monsters for about 2 weeks before Grover found us. Grover sighed as he got up, unable to sleep as he heard the conversation. I was supposed to escort Thalia to camp, he said, sniffling. Only Thalia. I had strict orders from Chiron, don't do anything that would slow down the rescue. We knew Hades was after her, see, but I couldn't just leave Luke and Annabeth by themselves. I thought I could lead all 3 of them to safety. It was my fault the kindly ones caught up with us. I froze. I got scared on the way back to camp and took some wrong turns. If I'd just been a little quicker. Stop it, Annabeth said. No one blames you. Thalia didn't blame you either. She sacrificed herself to save us, he said miserably. Her death was my fault. The Council of Cloven Elders said so. Because you wouldn't leave 2 other half-bloods behind. I said. That's not fair. Yeah, so you could save everyone, so what? Naruto said, breaking his silence. You can't save everyone, people learn that the hard way in my world. Besides, Thalia in limbo, so there is still a chance to save her. I am sure we can find a way. I made a promise to help her. They're right. Annabeth said, though she was curious about that. Naruto said. I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for you, Grover. Neither would Luke. We don't care what the council says. Grover kept sniffling in the dark. It's just my luck. I'm the lamest satyr ever, and I find the 3 most powerful half-bloods of the century, Thalia, Percy, and Naruto. You're not lame, Annabeth insisted. You've got more courage than any satyr I've ever met. Name one other who would dare go to the underworld. I bet Percy is really glad you're here right now. She kicked Percy in the shin. Yeah, Percy said, though he would have said that anyway without the kick. It's not luck that you found Thalia and me, Grover. You've got the biggest heart of any satyr ever. You're a natural searcher. That's why you'll be the one who finds Pan. And your heart is your greatest strength. Naruto said with a smile in the darkness. They heard a deep but happy sigh at that. Thanks guys. And soon he fell asleep within a few seconds. How does he do that? Percy marveled. I don't know, Annabeth said. But that was really a nice thing you 2 told him. I meant it. Percy said. Of course he does. It is the truth. Naruto said, his voice now closer to them. Annabeth then asked a question that had been plaguing her for the last few moments. Naruto, what did you mean that you learn you can't save everyone in your world? In world where war and battle from the shadows is constant, there is a lot of death. People take missions all the time and sometimes they run into a trap. We have a mission to do but friends can't abandon each other. Though some don't get a choice. Kakashi-sensei once told me of how his dad abandoned the mission he was on to save his comrades. He was met with oppression at that and so, he took his own life, leaving Kakashi alone since his mother was dead as well. That is horrible. Annabeth cried and anyone could tell that Percy was shocked. Yay, and thankfully times have changed, but still people lose their friends all the time. People are filled with regret, but everyone deals with it in their own stand in front of the memorial stone for hours on end, just staring at the names of the people he has lost, and he reads porn in public. Asuma smokes and Guy wears green spandex and yells about the power of youth. All the time. I am not sure what Karunya does. That really must be a hard life to live, Naruto. Percy said quietly. It was, and in a way I am glad I am here, but I also miss all my old friends. Well, you have us now, so don't feel too lonely. Annabeth said. Ha, that is the plan, and thanks. Naruto said, and after a while it was quiet, so he closed his eyes and listened to their next conversation. Percy noticed that the blonde girl had been rubbing on her necklace for a long time. He just assumed that she was thinking deep strategic thoughts. That pine tree bead, Percy said, breaking the silence. Is that from your first year? She looked. She hadn't realized what she was doing. Yeah, she said. Every August, the counselors pick the most important event of the summer, and they painted on that year's beads. I've got Thalia's pine tree, a Greek trireme on fire, a centaur in a prom dress. Now that was a weird summer. Do I even want to know what happened that year? Naruto thought with a shiver. And the college ring is your father's. That's none of yours. She stopped herself. Yeah, it is. You don't have to tell me, Percy said, feeling like he overstepped the boundaries. No, it's okay. She took a shaky breath. My dad sent it to me folded up in a letter, 2 summers ago. The ring was, like, his main keepsake from Athena. He wouldn't have gotten through his doctoral program at Harvard without her. That's a long story. Anyway, he said he wanted me to have it. He apologized for being a jerk, said he loved me and missed me. He wanted me to come home and live with him. That doesn't sound so bad. Yeah, well, the problem was, I believed him. I tried to go home for that school year, but my stepmom was the same as ever. She didn't want her kids put in danger by living with a freak. Monsters attacked. We argued. Monsters attacked. We argued. I didn't even make it through winter break. I called Chiron and came right back to camp. Half-blood. You think you'll ever try living with your dad again? Please. I'm not into self-inflicted pain, she replied, not meeting his eyes. You shouldn't give up, Percy told her. You should write him a letter or something. Thanks for the advice, she said coldly, but my father's made his choice about who he wants to live with. There were a few moments of silence before Percy spoke up again. So if the gods fight, I said, will things line up the way they did with the Trojan War? Will it be Athena versus Poseidon? She put her head against the backpack Ares had given them, and closed her eyes. I don't know what my mom will do. I just know I'll fight next to you. Why? Because you're my friend, Seaweed Brain, and I am sure Naruto is going to be on your side as well. No matter what? Any more stupid questions? A few minutes later, Naruto was the only one that was actually awake. Man, these two have a strange connection. Don't know why I can feel that, but it must be an Aphrodite thing. Either way, I will what she has to say about these two. XXXX. Back in the dream world, Naruto was slumped on a desk back in Iruka's classroom. As usual, Iruka was droning on and on about something that he didn't understand. He turned his head and saw all of his old friends, including Shizuke. What kind of weird dream am I in? He then noticed the one person that did not belong in the classroom, not like the person was not welcome. It was Thalia. She turned to him and said, well, fish cake, can you do it? Naruto put on a confused face until everything zoned away and the cave from before was back and a voice echoed off the walls. Percy Jackson and Naruto Uzumaki, it said. Yes, the exchange went well. 1C. This voice sounded like it was talking to someone else, but he could not see anyone but the astral images of himself and Percy, like always. And he suspects nothing? It asked. That is when a familiar voice piped up, but he could not put his finger on it, and it was coming from right between the two. Nothing, my lord. They is as ignorant as the rest. Naruto's eyes darted all around, but he could no one. Whoever was speaking was invisible and it was pissing him off. Deception upon deception, the thing in the pit mused aloud. Excellent. Truly, my lord, said the voice next to me, you are well named the Crooked One. But was it really necessary? I could have brought you what I stole directly. You? The monster said in scorn. You have already shown your limits. You would have failed me completely had I not intervened. But, my lord, peace, little servant. Our 6 months have bought us much. Zeus's anger has grown. Poseidon and Hades have played their most desperate card. Now we shall use it against him. Shortly you shall have the reward you wish, and your revenge. As soon as both items are delivered into my hands, but wait. Those two are here. What? The invisible servant suddenly sounded tense. You summoned him, my lord? No. The voice said, bringing it attention to the two boys, like a weight ponding down on them. Blast their father's blood, he is too changeable, too unpredictable. The other is part of this place. No, they brought themselves hither. Impossible? The servant cried. For a weakling such as you, perhaps, the voice snarled. Then its cold power turned back on the boys. So, you wish to dream of your quest, young half-bloods? Then I will oblige. The scene shifted all around them again. They were standing in a vast throne room with black marble walls and bronze floors. The empty, horrid throne was made from human bones fused together. Standing at the foot of the dais was Percy's mother, frozen in shimmering golden light, her arms outstretched. Although she was not alone, Naruto's own mother was there as well, just smiling at the blonde with a hand stretched out, like she was waiting for him to come and get her. Naruto's eyes widened and he tried to move toward her, but he could not, and he noticed that Percy could not either. His eyes widened ever more when he saw Percy was withering away to the bone, with grinning skeletons in Greek armor crowded around the boy, draping him with silk robes, wreathing his head with laurels that smoked with chimera poison, burning into his scalp. He turned his head back to the two women, only to find a shadowed figure. He was dressed in old-style ninja armor and his black hair was very spiky and long, but the things that stood out were the Sharingan eyes. It then pulled out a sword and threw it into Naruto's chest. Grimacing, the blonde looked down at the sword and then back at the figure, only it had changed. It was Sasuke in sound ninja clothes. The sound Sasuke slowly walked up to Naruto and put a hand on the blade. The evil voice began to laugh through Saki's mouth. Hail, the conquering heroes? The next thing the blonde hero knew, electricity was ripping into him through the sword. The boys then woke up with a start, but Naruto was worse for wear. He was in cold sweat while Percy just looked a little shaken. The trucks stopped, Grover said, checking to see if they were awake. We think they're coming to check on the animals. Hide. Annabeth hissed. She put on her cap and disappeared while Percy and Grover dove behind the feed sacks. Naruto smirked as he did a henge and turned into a toad and hopped into the shadows. The trailer doors creaked open. Sunlight and heat poured in. Man, one of the truckers said, waving his hand in front of his ugly nose. I wish I hauled appliances. He climbed inside and poured some water from a jug into the animals' dishes. You hot, big boy? He asked the lion, then splashed the rest of the bucket right in the lion's face. The lion roared in indignation. Yeah, the man said. From his position, Naruto could see that Grover looked murderous at these two truckers for the way they were treating the animals, and he could not blame them. The trucker threw the antelope a squashed looking happy meal bag. He smirked at the zebra. How ya doin', Stripes? Least we'll be getting rid of you this stop. You like magic shows? You're gonna love this one. They're gonna saw you in half. The zebra, wild-eyed with fear, looked straight at Percy's position. Naruto wasn't sure, but he thought the zebra was talking to the sea boy. He even had a pretty good guess of what he said too. And by the look on Percy's face, he was right. There was a loud knock on the side of the trailer. The trucker inside with them yelled, "What do you want, Eddie?" A voice outside, it must have been Eddie's, shouted back, "Maurice, what did ya say? What are you banging for?" Knock. Outside, Eddie yelled, "What banging?" Maurice rolled his eyes and went back outside, cursing at Eddie for being an idiot. A few seconds later, Annabeth appeared next to Percy and Toad. Naruto hopped out of the shadow before he poofed back to normal. Ha, nice one, Blondie. Naruto smirked, figuring she was the one making the noise. Hey, don't call that. You are blonde too, Annabeth countered. So, I know that, and that is why I can say that. Naruto smirked, making the blonde girl grumble under her breath. His face became serious. Seems I was right. You were. Grover cried out. We've got to free them. Ha, time for a little jailbreak. Naruto replied with a smile. He noticed that Percy was staring the zebra before he slashed off the lock to its cage. Grover held up his hands and said something to the zebra in goat talk, like a blessing. Just as Maurice was poking his head back inside to check out the noise, the zebra leaped over him and into the street. There was yelling and screaming and cars honking. The group rushed to the doors of the trailer in time to see the zebra galloping down a wide boulevard lined with hotels and casinos and neon signs. They had just released a zebra in Las Vegas. Maurice and Eddie ran after it, with a few policemen running after them, shouting, "Hey, you! Need a permit for that. Now would be a good time to leave," Annabeth said. "The other animals first," Grover said. "Let's bring some chaos to the streets of Vegas, baby." Naruto shouted happily while throwing kunaus at the locks, freeing all the animals. "Good luck, you guys." The animals burst out of their cage and ran into the streets. Some tourists screamed. Most just backed off and took pictures, probably thinking it was some kind of stunt by one of the casinos. "Will the animals be okay?" Percy asked Grover. "I mean, the desert and all, don't worry," he said. "I placed a satyr's sanctuary on them." Meaning they'll reach the wild safely," he said. "They'll find water, food, shade, whatever they need until they find a safe place to live." "Why can't you place a blessing like that on us?" Percy asked. "It only works on wild animals. So it would only affect Percy," Annabeth reasoned. "Hey," Percy protested, while Naruto fell off the truck, laughing. "Kidding," she said. "Come on. Let's get out of this filthy truck." After a few minutes, Naruto calmed down and they starting walking. He smirked and said, "Don't worry, Percy, even if you are not animal, you still got me to protect, yeah." "Thanks, Naruto, you are always on my side," Percy said as he walked a few feet in front of them, so he never saw the wide-eyed grin on the blonde's face. Naruto closed one eye and looked at Annabeth with a smirk, said girl, wondering what was going through the mystery blonde's mind. "You know, Annabeth, if Percy was some sort of animal, what do you think he would be?" She smiled, getting the joke. She put on a thoughtful look with a smile when she saw Percy freeze up a bit in the walk through the streets of Vegas. Since it was over 100 degrees, Naruto was trying to liven up the mood in his own way. "I am not sure, but if I had to guess it would be a dog, most likely a mutt." "Oh thanks," deadpanned Percy. "Harsh." Grover winced. Naruto chuckled, getting odd looks. "Funny that you would choose that animal since it used in some other stuff." Grover and Percy looked at Naruto with stupid looks, not getting it at all. However, Annabeth, after thinking about it for a while, was blushing madly. Given Naruto's Aphrodite heritage, he was actually using it, and there was only one dog analogy that came to mind in the love field. "Pervert," she growled as she whacked the back of his head. Naruto took off running and laughing when she tried to struggle him. She ran after him in a huff, leaving Percy and Grover alone and confused. "Yeah, I don't get it," Percy stated. However, Grover's eyes widened and his face went red when he figured it out. "Oh my, what?" Percy said, wanting to know. Grover leaned in and whispered in his friend's ear. Percy's eyes widened. "Naruto!" he yelled as he ran after him, with Grover right behind him. Naruto ran past the Monte Carlo and the MGM before he called out, "Hey, it's funny, and it would have been funnier if she said you were a horse." Annabeth's face got redder. "Naruto!" she screamed while he just laughed as he passed pyramids, a pirate ship, and the Statue of Liberty, which was a smaller version of the original. Until he just stopped in front of a music store all of a sudden, with Annabeth crashing into him followed by Percy and Grover. "Naruto, I am so going to dash hey a music shop." Naruto interrupted, getting odd looks for his short attention span. "Let's see if they have it here since the gift shop back at camp didn't," he stated before going in. Annabeth stared at Naruto as he went in without a care in the world. To Percy and Grover, she looked about ready to pull out her hair. Grover patted her back as he too went in. "Don't worry, you'll get used to him." "Yeah, and what do you think his animal is?" she spat out. Percy and Grover looked at each other and deadpanned, "Fox." Naruto made his way to the rock section while the others just browsed, and none of them noticed the clerk. Percy was looking at the new Katy Perry CD when he noticed the clerk making his way toward Naruto. His eyes widened when he noticed that guy looked just like Naruto's fear. "Grover," he whispered to his goat-like friend, "we need to Annabeth and Naruto and get the hell out of here." "Huh? Why?" he asked. Percy pointed to the clerk and Grover paled. "Oh no, guys, what is wrong? It is like you have seen a ghost," Annabeth said as she came up to them. "We need to grab Naruto and get the hell out of here," Percy replied to a very confused blonde girl. "Too late," Grover groaned. Naruto was browsing the rock section when he picked up the wrong CD. It had a picture of Marilyn Manson. He quickly put it back with a very freaked out expression. However, the nightmare had only begun for the poor blonde because he was tapped on the shoulder by the clerk. He turned and paled. He slowly gained a horrified expression, nose running and all. For the clerk was a tall skinny man with pale as the moon skin, a jaw like Orochimaru's or Michael Jackson's, long greasy black hair, a crappy black suit that was the store's uniform, and it made the man look even more creepy, and to top it off, a grin that made people's skin crawl. "Hello little boy, is there anything I can help you with?" he said with a smile while he licked his lips very slowly. By now, Naruto's eyes were very small and he let out a blood-curdling scream while yelling out, "Keep your tongue in your mouth," and with a flash, he ran out the doorway of the music store, arms flailing. Gaping at the scene, Annabeth could not form a coherent sentence. Percy sighed tiredly and said, "Come on. Guys, let's go find him before something happens to him." What the hell was that? Annabeth got out. His fear, he is deathly afraid of pale old guys, he thinks that all of them are pedophiles. Grover sadly stated. "Oh dear," Annabeth stated. "So it is like my fear of spiders." "Yep," Percy said as they left the store. Back where the man was standing, he was held the bridge of his nose before. He groaned out, "Oh come on, one time and they recognize me in an instant." A nearby family heard him and hurriedly made their way out of the store, making the man slap his head. When the group made their way outside, they saw their blonde friend on top of a light pole, clinging to it like a cat would. "Get down Naruto, the guy is gone," Percy shouted. "Are you sure? Is it really safe to be down there?" Naruto stuttered from top the pole with a nervous and freaked out expression. "Yeah man, now get down, we can rest at the hotel at the end of the street." The sea boy reassured his friend. "Okay then," Naruto said as he jumped down but still had an uneasy look on his face. They made their way to a dead-end street with a building at the end of it with the banner saying, "Lotus Hotel and Casino." The entrance was a huge neon flower, the petals lighting up and blinking. No one was going in or out, but the glittering chrome doors were open, spilling out air conditioning that smelled like flowers' lotus blossom, maybe. The doorman smiled at them. "Hey, kids. You look tired. You want to come in and sit down?" "Love to," Naruto squeaked and ran in, with Percy and the others quickly following. "Whoa," Grover announced. The whole lobby was a giant game room, and not that old crap you see in arcades. There was an indoor water slide snaking around the glass elevator, which went straight up at least 40 floors. There was a climbing wall on the side of one building, and an indoor bungee jumping bridge. There were virtual reality suits with working laser guns, and hundreds of video games, each one the size of a widescreen TV. Basically, you name it, this place had it. There were a few other kids playing, but not that many. No waiting for any of the games. There were waitresses and snack bars all around, serving every kind of food you can imagine. "Hey," a bellhop said. He wore a white and yellow Hawaiian shirt with lotus designs, shorts, and flip-flops. "Welcome to the Lotus Casino. Here's your room key." But Percy stammered. No, he said, laughing. "The bill's taken care of. No extra charges, no tips. Just go on up to the top floor, loom 4001. If you need anything, like extra bubbles for the hot tub, or skeet targets for the shooting range, or whatever, just call the front desk. Here are your Lotus Cash cards. They work in the restaurants and on all the games and rides." He handed them each a green plastic credit card. "How much is on here?" Percy asked thoughtfully. "What do you mean?" the man asked, not understanding. "I mean, when does it run out of cash?" The man laughed. "Oh, you're making a joke. Hey, that's cool. Enjoy your stay. Who cares, just get in the elevator," Naruto said as he pushed them in. They took the elevator upstairs and checked out th room. It was a suite with 4 separate bedrooms and a bar stocked with candy, sodas, and chips. A hotline to room service. Fluffy towels and water beds with feather pillows. A big screen television with satellite and high-speed internet. The balcony had its own hot tub, and sure enough, there was a skeet shooting machine and a shotgun, so you could launch clay pigeons right out over the Las Vegas skyline and plug them with your gun. The view over the strip and the desert was amazing, but with a room like this, they probably wouldn't have any time to check it out. "Oh, goodness," Annabeth said. "This place is sweet, Grover said. Absolutely sweet. No, not absolutely sweet. Naruto replied with a serious face until it broke out into a wide smile. This is freakin' sweet. Percy smirked and tossed the bag that Ares had given him into the trash, not needing it anymore. They all went to their own rooms and took a shower. When Percy got out, he saw that Naruto and Grover were pigging out on the food provided for them, and Annabeth had set the TV to the National Geographic channel. All those stations, he told her, and you turn on National Geographic. Are you insane? It's interesting. I feel good, Grover said. I love this place. Without him even realizing it, the wings sprouted out of his shoes and lifted him a foot off the ground, then back down again. Got that right, said a dazed Naruto. So what now? Annabeth asked. Sleep. The boy looked at each other and smirked. They held the green plastic cards and said, play time. They said, running out of the room to do their thing. Naruto surfed on a hologram beach, not questioning how this was possible. He slingshot himself across the lobby 7 times, one for time then Percy could handle, and then played laser tag with Percy and Grover. When Percy went off to do his own thing, he did too. He found Grover playing a reverse hunting game where he had to shoot rednecks. Annabeth was playing a sim game where she could build her own city. To him, she must be in heaven. He walked around until he found himself in what looked to be a tournament for card games. Any kind of card game you could think was here. Don't be fooled, son. This place is a trap but also a haven for some. Naruto jerked his head to the voice but could not see anyone. He reasoned that it was in his head. Who is there? Your father, and I am trying to wake you up. Look to your left, at the table that is playing Mythomagic. Naruto nodded slightly and saw the table. A young boy with olive-colored skin was dominating the table. He smiled and walked over to watch. He noticed that the boy had shaggy and messy black hair and intense black eyes with a gleam of genius or madness, which is kind of hard to discern in most cases, but the kid seemed to be having fun. He also wore all black clothes, and on the chair he was sitting on was an aviator's jacket. A girl walked up beside our blonde hero. He noticed that she had black eyes and dark brown hair. She seemed to be lean, and about average height. She had olive skin like the boy at the table, a sprinkle of freckles across her nose, and wore a floppy green hat that hides most of her face, but you could still see it. These two are here for protection. They are your half-brother and sister. Don't let them know until it is time, for you will see them again. Naruto sighed. He is pretty good. I guess so. The girl replied. It is a pain to watch him all the time though. Naruto shrugged. I guess that is what you do to keep your family safe. Yeah, I guess, she said as she turned to the blonde and held out a hand. I am Bianca D'Angelo, by the way, and the kid at the table is my brother, Nico. Like the Japanese word for cat, joked Naruto, making the girl giggle. No, the normal spelling. Oh, well, my name is Naruto Uzumaki, he said, shaking her hand. Nice to meet you, Naruto, she said with a smile. Son, you must get out of this place. Time is running out. Don't worry, you will see them again, so give them those new konou you made. Naruto slightly nodded and produced 2 small boxes and gave them to Byace, who took on a confused face. It is a gift for you too, for the future. Why would you do that? We hardly know each other, she asked, staring at the odd designs on the black boxes. Like I said before, it is what we do to keep our family safe, Naruto said. Bianca looked up at the boy quickly to see that he had disappeared. She turned her attention back to the box and opened her box and saw a pure black konou with white seal designs all over it. Whoa, was her reply. Naruto made his way back to the others. It seemed this place dulls the senses and makes you think you had only been here for a few hours. He found Percy trying to get Annabeth away from her sim game. Come on, Percy told her. We've got to get out of here. There was no response, so Percy shook her. What? She replied, looking annoyed. We need to get out of here. Leave? What are you talking about? I've just got the towers, she said. This place is a trap. Percy replied frantically, but she just ignored him as she went on with her game. Maybe this will help, Naruto said from behind, shocking the hell out of Percy. Naruto made the tiger sign and called, Kai. A strange glow surrounded Annabeth before she blinked and looked up. What is going on? This place is a trap, we need to go, Naruto replied. Annabeth's eyes widened and she shot off with the 2 boys to find Grover. Hey, Naruto, what do you do back there? Percy asked. Added chakra to Annabeth to disrupt the illusion placed around her. Seemed that it worked. This place lays on illusion on you. So you figured that out too? Percy asked. That I did. Oh gods, how long have we been here? Asked Annabeth. To be honest, I would rather not know, Naruto replied, though it was not reassuring to the two following him. When they found Grover, he was still playing virtual deer hunter. Grover, they shouted. He said, die, human, die, silly polluting nasty person. Grover. Percy shouted again, only for the goat man to point the plastic gun on him and start clicking. Gee, someone had issues today, Naruto commented. Annabeth and Percy looked at each other and grabbed Grover by the arms, dragging him away from the game. No, I just got to a new level? No, he yelled frantically. The Lotus bellhop hurried up to them. Well, now, are you ready for your platinum cards? Sorry, but we need to go, Naruto replied. Such a shame, he said, and he got the feeling that he really meant it, that they would be breaking his heart if they went. We just added an entire new floor full of games for platinum card members. He held out the card and Naruto saw that Percy was staring at it longingly. He could tell that the sea boy really wanted it. Grover tried reaching for it, but Annabeth yanked him away and said, no thanks, and they walked out the front door, but the smell of the food and the roar of the games made it all more inviting, like Ti was trying to pull them back in. The pack that Ares had given Percy was back on his shit and Grover blinked a few times, regaining his bearings. Percy ran over to the newspaper stand to check the date, the others looking over his shoulder. It was the same year thankfully, but not the same day. They had been in the casino for 5 days and there was only 1 day left until the summer solstice and for the quest to be over. Oh shit, Naruto groaned out, saying what was on everyone's mind. Well, there you go people. I hope ya liked that. Please check out my profile. I have a few pictures made for my stories that, seeing that his son is not treated like a hero,